Vaz, it's from Ultra Love TV. I'm getting my broadcast out early this morning. It's 4 in the morning. I am based in the UK, the United Kingdom. I'm Canadian originally. I had my spiritual awakenings like 20 years ago. I mean, spiritual awakenings, like what the F? It's not like I knew they were spiritual awakenings when I was 19. It just happened. So, and I mean, I thought that everyone thought this way, but it would appear that we're still on a funny path. This is my book, and I like doing intuitive tarot. Hey Christian, how's it going, my friend? Holla. So I'm trying to be a little bit quiet. I've just listened to some Adrian on the precipice, and I actually really feel that energy of, I mean, fuck, we've been on the precipice probably for a really long while, and energetically, like these last few days, I've felt this sort of pressure but huge release as well, because there's ultimately this wave of release and this wave of letting go. I feel it from deep within, this sense of like that obsessive or incessant programming is like thick, you know. So for us, maybe a lot of our feeling challenges, like feeling unworthy, feeling not good enough, like, or patterns maybe with other people in our lives. So we're going to be witnessing, hello, divine side. We're going to be witnessing, I suppose, to a certain degree, extremes, and or also people landing into themselves. Like we're going to be witnessing, and or what I was feeling into is like this deeper ease of like dropping deeper into a state of relaxation, ultimately, where we can love easily, where we can enjoy the nature easily. And it would appear to me that our recurring lifelong challenges and themes that perhaps a lot of us have been working on and apparently mastered, if some of those are coming back, that is like the heavy hand of the law, and or your own personal historical control patterns, your own personal historical like enslavement patterns. They can all be coming up and or manifesting in this shifting time, because ultimately, again, we are creating a reality. So we're presenting ourselves with, holla, is this what you're wanting to create then? Is this, and again, if we hold space for ourselves and choose the light and choose the love and choose the freedom piece from within this self, and that's our choosing, then that's ultimately what we're creating. We're creating ourselves to be joyful, free human beings from a perspective of love, or not. And ultimately, moment to moment, breath by breath, it has to do with how we're feeling. And you guys know the score. It's not about denying how we're feeling. You know, in fairness, in my perception or awareness, it's denial that got us into this whole bloody mess, isn't it? Should we just pretend that nothing's going wrong? Okay. And it's funny speaking in a British accent, because they have an expression here, the British stiff upper lip. Political correctness. Let's all like behave and have this etiquette, and then let's just deny and pretend that there's these really dark energies and forces going down. I'm hearing a song, something about it's going down. I don't know. Anyway, I'm a person who's saying, "Are you guys?" Not at all. Obviously. Yeah, I know I am not, but that judgment of self came in, and I was aware of it. So I'm getting that divine insight on a collective level as well, because so many of us would appear to have these sort of saving the world or collective contracts, right? And yet, let's be honest, the physical body and the conflict that we've been programmed with within our own physical bodies is primal. Because if we can't live well, if we can't be happy in these bodies, like what's the effing point of any of it, right? Hence yeah, the multi-layer control system of like your body gets sick and is gonna die and you can do nothing about it but take some pills. And that's just not, the manifest experience for those of us consciously endeavoring self-healing on a continuous level. That self-healing is perpetual inner connection to self, and so you're bringing in light forces, you're consciously being guided to what your soul is asking you to eat and to drink, and to be, be the channel of change, be the channel of love and acceptance versus obsessive control and trying to manage these bodies, right? Rather than living joyfully, straight up legit. This is I know the truth of it. It's like when we are joyful and happy, it all flows, it all works, it all is in perfect alignment. And it's only our stuckness to the old, and or our unconscious residue kind of on the old ways, and or other people projecting stuff onto us possibly, or and again, or believing in the illusion, as in, so that could be a false program that's like projecting the image of you fat or da da da, which, let's be honest, a lot of us would have that false program from early childhood, from fucking bullies at school yelling that at us when we're little girls or something. Like, I'll speak from my own experience, that happened. And then, so in the here now, we could be experiencing the projection of that fear, like a nightmare almost, or whatever it might be. And yet we know it's not comfortable to live in our bodies when we feel that way. So there is a kind of on the precipice, as in, if it's darkest before it's dawn, it's gonna feel pretty fucking harsh right now. It's all gonna be coming up for us to be like, holla, is this what you're looking for? So you're gonna be fat and poor the rest of your life? And you're like, huh? Like, as in, you might be seeing that poverty in your bank account statement, you might, or joblessness or homelessness, or you might be seeing your fat body after 2 weeks of quarantine where you can't do your control patterns around food and exercise, and you're like, I lose control, I'm gonna get fat. Or you can choose your freedom. You can literally just be like, in the here now, this might be what I see, this might be what I feel, but I know what I see and I feel is not true. And that's from A Course of Miracles. So A Course of Miracles is one of the first effing lessons in A Course in Miracles, is like, what you see isn't real. And in my mind, I'm like, so that means that even my own body, what I see isn't real. Right? That makes sense. It's from a manifest reality. It's like, what we see is our creation. So even our own bodies, what we see is our creation. So recognizing that we're still outworking, just boo flash, we're still outworking those density patterns, obviously, because we're still in this energy of transition, and or they're coming up for us. And my goodness, it is deep commitment to self right now. I mean, certainly I'll always speak for myself. That's my endeavor, in in a certain sense, to not speak for other people unless they ask me to. Would you mind speaking on behalf of me? Sure, honey. What would you like me to say? It's fine, I'll speak from my heart. So deep. Like, fucking so deep, and perpetually, like, dedication is like, so imagine you're looking at a fucking war zone, or you're looking at your worst fears right in front of you, or like on your person, and you're like, huh? I thought I got over this. I'm pretty sure if I could transform this shit with the light of love, why have you manifest again? And it's like, well, because now shit's getting really real for the whole collective, so we gotta make sure that you're on this. That you know the depth of commitment required to manifest your effing dream life. Huh? And then it's like the classic Abraham thing of like, sometimes as a soul we just want to put ourselves through enough densities and enough cray darkness just to make sure you're like, you want that again? Do you want the darkness again? And you'd be like, no, really not at all, thank you very much. I'm digging on the light vibration. Because any of us reaching into those bliss, ecstasy, heart, love, vibration feels, we're like, that piece is freedom. Truth. What is the title? Something like Star people, truth and freedom equals love. Because it is. Like, think about how love feels. Love is gratitude. Love is appreciation. When I'm in love, I feel like I'm in love. When I'm in love, it's freedom and truth, ultimately. There again, those of us deep and broad wanderers who've been to the edge of the universe and back again multiple times. It's only love. The deepest effing truth of our creative existence is love. Seriously. So, as in, you're gonna be frightened of death? Why? But you just go back into hot love vibrashe. It's all contained. All this dualistic aspect, all of this creation. It is all held and created in love, for love, by love, with love. Holla holla. So we can, as a species, as a creative expression of oneself, we can either be like, do I want to be with that love? Do I want to choose that love? Do I want to live with that kind of gooey, ooey, hot love? Or, but wait a minute, all of those images, all of those shittinesses, all of those fears program, but wait, oh, it is so awful. Maybe I should join everybody and talk and fucking rally for how awful it is. But that feels awful too, doesn't it? Unless it doesn't. It might not for everybody. Yeah, it feels awful. And so it's like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Love train, love train. What you gonna do? Oh my god. Be like MJ and just make an absolute twat of yourself every morning on YouTube and hope for the best. And it does, the best did work out because all of my soul familia showed up being like, hey, I know you. And I'm like, oh, I know you too. Souls recognize. Boom. Align. Soul tribe. And we need to make a song about the love train of Alta Love and the soul train familia hooking up. Getting our cabooses all hooked up together so we make a journey to a new world. But not one that's been designed by other people, just one that we get to frolic with the flowers, essentially. Sometimes people call me a hippie. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I am, that is all. Yes! Andy P's in the house! Andy P, I spoke of your name yesterday. And I was there like half waiting. I'm like, Andy P's gonna show up anytime. Anytime. I hate Chewbacca, how are you? Chewbacca Sasquatch. I love the name. It makes me think of a long as fucking time ago in a town called Kagapoo lived a humble family, religious through and through. But oh, there was a black sheep and he knew just what to do. Can you hear me? I'm lost and so alone. Something about his father sucking a cock. Oh my god. But yeah, Tenacious D. When I think of Chewbacca or the Sasquatch, I think of Tenacious D's trip through Mushroom Land, where he just says juicy, and then he meets the scat. What's the song? The Sasquatch song. But my Sasquatches are gonna protect me, where he becomes a little Sasquatch baby, and then goes flying through the trees. I might have to watch that shit again, and possibly make some brownies. I'm like, come on, you guys. I'm even me, mega introvert over here, vibrashe, and the last probably 3 to 4 days, I've had moments of like, I would actually quite enjoy going to a cafe. Imagine that, baby Sasquatch. Oh my god. You guys, we can be a Sasquatch family. Or maybe it's more like, we can be an angel family. That's not cool. That's not fun, is it? We'll think about this. We'll think about, like, what is our creature? Or maybe we are representative of the star people. So maybe we just, like, vibrate lightness and come in peace and emanate a golden light of love, do you think people would be frightened, or would they be like, holla, or be like, we're having effing fun times over here? Like, pretty much that is the only vision that has always been since this awakening of, and being guided by paradigm shift, is that my awareness fully now is like, just vibrate as freaking hot as you can and have some fun and let people join you. If you have a garden, plant some food so you can feed yourself. Oh, I watched this amazing. I've been watching some like amazing inspirational stuff on the tube as well in Netflix of like just people who grow their own food and live like straight up legit. When we live in creative flow, we are flow, we are well. And all this journey is for most of us as individuals is breaking free from feelings of corrupted control. Like, we have to do this. You're obliged. I was sort of jesting with a friend about like one of my past cycles that I ran from, that I freed myself from once I realized I was in a sort of a corrupted situation, a veiled situation, right? And then I realized I was free, and then somebody came back into my reality and was like, you have a soul contract, you have to go back into that situation. And I was like, nope. And there's the thing, is that this person was actually attempting to pull me back in using any number of tactics. You shouldn't have done that. You should feel guilty. They didn't do what you said they did. You need to resolve this situation. You have a soul contract. And I was like, don't you fucking dare. Boom. As in, maybe I did, but I don't now, as I get to choose. So the more we choose, as in, does this partnership feel hala hala high vibration like you guys do in Manish? Or is this connection, regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what it sounds like, is this connection making you feel low vibration, bad about yourself? There again, this is where the intuit can and the empath can begin to discern between egoic projection, bearing in mind normally our ego is attached to getting something, even a feeling from somebody. So if there's egoic shit going on, it might sound all nice, but if you're feeling shit about yourself, it's likely that person is feeling shit either about themselves or projecting you, like as in projecting onto you whatever, wherever they see you and feel you to be, regardless of what they're saying. That's what you're gonna act out. Because at this point, for a lot of the empath or conscious creators community, recognize that if you don't feel like yourself in certain environments, you're basically acting out those people's projection rather than being free to act out your truth. That's another layer of being protected right now. Stay in your fucking house. Do your thing. Do your thing. Go and do your thing. Be spiritual. Be weird. Like, who calls, right? You create your own time. After time. When you walk and you fit and you invite me, time after time. Do 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 do. So that was a little bit of, who was that? Cyndi Lauper? Oh, hello Tree Hugger. And hey Delianas, or goodies. Nice to see you. Dave is in the house. Being multi-conscious, my soul creature is a chimera. Chimera, I'm not sure what that is. You know where Santa Cruz is. We were having so much fun here in California. I bet you are. I mean, I'm having a pretty sweet time down here as well. There again, divine flow guided me down to the coast, so I'm going to the beach, and I mean, I haven't got the heat that you guys have in Cali, but like, I bet I bet maybe one day it's gonna warm up. Who wants to bet me on that? It's called summertime. And I must say, I've been doing my little eBay shopping and like really getting stoked about some of my festival. I got a rainbow mesh sweater. Holla. Oh my god. So I am actually looking forward to getting back on the like vibration of socializing and doing festivals this season. The mountains are alive. The sea is alive. This is the only thing that really so gels with me. I think like, what is my social front like? fun, high vibe, and festival vibes is super fun. And then like going to the sea, going to the mountains, like the only energy that I feel complete in alignment with in trust and flow is nature. So meditating by the sea. I'm still processing a lot, so I haven't been massively energetic. Like I haven't felt like going for massive long coastal walks or anything like that. Pardon me. I just feel like I'm still clearing. There she goes. Look, divine sign. If you fall, if you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. You guys are legit awesome. Sea is calling me. Sea is so beautiful. Oh, I did an ocean vibe update, didn't I? What's the fire-breathing... Why does that resonate with me? A fire-breathing female monster with with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent's tail. Where is this image coming from? Or quote? And why on earth does it somehow resonate with something I've been feeling? You create your own time after time. It's true. Part of our collective creation is also one another. To this point, and then this point, and then eventually those people are going to show up once you've got humbled enough. Once you've been absolutely effing broken, then your soul well, I would say a lot of manifestors or a lot of transformation teachers would testify to the fact that most of us get on this path through utter brokenness and suffering, poverty, violence, any number of really ick-filled ways of life. And part of the awakening is also compassion, though, and that's part of the empathy. Is like, here's the contract that a lot of the empath community is breaking free from, though. We no longer is it that we are in service to that guilt we feel or that compassion we feel for the entirety of humanity. We're in service to self. We're in service to the self of love. We're in service to our deservingness. We're in service to our ability to receive, because if we can't receive our dream, then nobody will, and nobody can. No one has access. But the fact that we can stay in alignment and inspired by the ones living their dream in truth, the people that we vibrate with, then it's a done deal already. Because I'm like, you guys have already showed up, right? I'm like, my dreams can come true. Look at you, babe, you showed up. So it's like when people are showing up very naturally and organically, you feel me, then we have dreams coming true. And ultimately, we just continue to focus on that truth from within. And it's this deep inner knowing. So way back in my early awakenings, it's like, I just remember knowing, and like within my, awareness, having these awakenings, I intuitively felt connected in this knowing of the duality construct of this paradigm. So I was aware that there was like a battle of light and dark, inside and outside. And yet, in my awareness, it was just quite simple deductionary reasoning, where I was like, oh, but the light always wins, because the light's the one projecting out, so the light gets to choose what it's going to project. But in the moment of creation, it can feel like a battle, as in, how dare you, lightness? You took away all my dark. and yeah, as a species, that's sort of what we're moving through. The earth moving through a darkness of like, it's fucking dark, you guys. It's dark in here. Fucking shit. I don't know where I am. Like, we created like that for thousands and thousands of years, all killing each other and killing the planet. And then more and more of us were like, open your eyes. You're like, yeah, it's a beautiful place. You don't have to be scared anymore. What? Who? Like, you can feel fear, but you don't have to react against it. You have to protect yourself against your fear, or you don't have to defend against it either. These are profound truths. And practicing them and embodying them is whack, nation. it's not. It's not whack, nation, at all. It's actually quite beautiful. But there can be based on our programming, based on our limited programming of old paradigm, sometimes coming into authenticity of self is a bit of a wild journey, and can be quite confusing at times as well. Mm-hmm. You know you got to have them. You know you got to be strong. Dreams can come true. Their dreams do come true every day. Nature had a bit of a head start on all of us, star seeds, which is why we feel the magic on our eyes, right? He goes, have yet to perceive, right? That's the feeling of the guidance, right? Of being guided by, like, our own lightness, right? Our own truth of who they are like we do in the real world. In truth, yeah, that's where intuition feeling comes in, right? As in trusting our intuitive connection versus trusting what other people are saying, or trusting marketing, to hence coming further and further away from it, I'd say. Truth. So life is not, so the external, in truth, the battle that we perceive outside of self is not, it's an inner battle. It's inner conflict, as in, like, when we come up against inner conflict, are the tight feelings, or the feelings that trigger us into unworthiness, shame, guilt, anger, not enoughness, jealousy. So those tight contracted feelings ultimately come from resistance against a wound, which leads into this sort of separation wounding, what one might call that the unconscious, or like the protective mechanisms or whatever. But deep within, as we heal that, our life changes and we begin to realize it really is all a reflection. So the wound that we're healing isn't like an external one, it's within our own self. As we integrate our delusions, as we integrate the fearful illusions that we've been projecting into the field, and ultimately, whether we say I've created this, or there's been some dark agenda that's put this creation in my mind, who fucking cares? If it's in your mind, it's in your mind. So you're the one who's going to have to change it. So being present with, like, the thoughts going on in your mind and the feelings that they trigger, like, that's the piece. Personally, that's the piece. Like, that's what I've been doing mega consciously since about 2011 and 2012. Again, my life being in absolute shit storms, and me being in an opportunity where I can practice what I fucking preach, or practice what the teachings are telling, or how I'm interpreting the teachings, and everything changed. A game changer, right? I continue to witness that. I continue to witness that in my own reality and people's reality. We do create it. The more you endeavor your own self manifest, or manifest reality in truth from that higher perspective, the more responsible you have to become. The more responsible you become, and then also the more humbled you become, because, like, when stuff comes up, it's intense. Whether you're looking at a monster, or feeling like death, or feeling like all your nightmares are happening around you, or that you're never going to be free from this, that, or the other, or blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is, right? It is a choice. Hey, Dave, how are you? Nice to see you. I love the crossover, and some of you came, um, some of you have joined the YouTube community after I posted on the Instagram. I'm done. I'm done with Instagram and Facebook. Ultimately, I just can't be bothered to be posting everywhere, and I much prefer my connection here, and working with people. So the work is taken off, and I feel like that's it, really. I'm really pleased you guys are here, bearing in mind I'm consolidating everything. So it's like I do my live share crew. So live share is a paid membership. You can join for as little as £3.33. We go live typically between 5 and 7 in the morning for my Monday morning, which for a lot of the crew who are in the United States and Canada, work it. Is it worth it? You're gonna bang down, flip it, and reverse it. So a lot of you that are in America can join me on the Sunday evening. So we typically, unless it morphs for me over here, I do the live share crew every Monday. Consolidate. It is a good word, isn't it? It feels like crystallize. Consolidate. Make it real. So yeah. So the live share crew, so that's like a private session where just the people paying join in. Or unless you message me and let me know like what's going on, we're good to go. Tuesday to Friday, holla. This is me going live on my Tuesday to Friday. I do these live tarot. This week it just hasn't been on flow. So typically my Tuesday to Friday are live sessions, and sometimes I do. Yes, Macavity. Hi. Hello, kitty kitty. So, what was I saying? So often I'll do the live share. In fairness, like what seems to be working is when people send a little donation to the super chat and ask a question. I'm happy to pull some cards for you. Otherwise, I'm taking bookings, so you guys can have perspective calls, online intuitive readings, and the Be the Change courses. If any of you guys are hella bored and have some extra cash to splash and want to go vegan, listen to me talk about unplugging from mainstream media, Spirituality Simplify based on my 20-year journey, and then what's the other one? Zero Waste. I collaborate with another chica, and yeah, talk about the zero waste stuff, and it's something that is become more evident for me also in this next phase. Like I'm excited to share with you more the living of the lifestyle. That's something I got quite inspired by, creative ways to just offer you guys more, well, entertainment and also like inspiration, ultimately, like feeling better, feeling more alive. Oh, and I got this insight. So we've been planting some flowers and, just watching the seeds grow in the garden outside. And it's really beautiful, this connection we have to earth and soil. And the more we hang out in the garden and outside, is that it was like it was very visceral to me that when we were planting the flowers in the soil, that the soil was happy. Like the soil was like, it's a vibrational feeling, right? But it's a feeling. And I've told you about my connection to gnome energy and how the gnomes have just been like, every once in a while I'll have this insight or recognition, and like I'll literally see a community of gnomes just like, yay, dancing around. I'm like, and I'm also seeing beyond the veil into like just how many light beings, star beings, the angelic kingdoms, the elf kingdoms, the hollow earth, which is a little bit connected to some of these elemental energies, the fairies, the gnomes, the elves that we speak of, the leprechauns even, right? So we have these sort of mythical and elemental creative fields which are becoming more and more present. And again, it's not really to do with the individual human self, it's to do with earth, the being of earth. So Earth is awakening. That's part of. I love our human ideation because we tend to personalize everything like we're awakening, we are going through this massive awakening, or Earth is, and we're just here for the ride. And the more we let go, and the more we just trust and have fun. I know, like that in and of itself can take years and years. And a lot of ego death, possibly, like a lot of ego death for us to really come to our path. And ultimately the ego death is us just owning what we desire and deserve in our heart. The ego death is only ever taking away what is unnecessary. The ego death stuff isn't about like you don't deserve it. No, it's about, well, you're a little bit off on that angle. Let's just not give you that so that you realize that you don't need it. And you're like, oh, gotcha. It's like me living in, going back to a city ego. Yeah, ego. Yeah, so I'll do this. Ego, feeling like I'm gonna die. Why? Oh, because you're chasing the illusion again. Duh. You're like, oh, okay. Just to get another whole layer of humility and to get another whole layer about empathic, how an empath can absorb stuff and act out people's projections, and ultimately, especially when it's covert or when it's not obvious, it is completely oppressive. It will energetically feel like you're being taken under if you're in the wrong environment. Tree hugger, garden gnome. See, I'm thinking like this life's pretty cool too, and then I'm like, but for me, my elf energy is like, um, the elf energy probably is my strongest resonance. Although I often have visions of these, they're not like, I don't have like webbed feet. It's not like a mermaid, but maybe it's like mermaid energy, but it doesn't feel like mermaid energy because it's very being. It's not like a water being anyway, but the being has this being, a little bit angelic-ish maybe, but like she has like, she can manipulate the water. This is in my imagination. This is a vision or a kind of energetic embodiment that I'm feeling into. And it makes sense as this quantum recognition, right? Is that we are, um, we don't connect it, right? That's why we don't necessarily see it, but we are creators. The world as we perceive it to be is illusory, and we manipulate it through our thought, feeling, frequency. We just have been disconnected from that ultimately, and so we don't. No, and like for real. And that's something in truth in our heart space. That is the absolute foundation, is that no, our external reality has nothing to do with our worth or our value. And this is another big thing for me. Like, you manifest, therefore, like, if you're poor, you're vibrating unworthiness. Not necessarily. I mean, again, the economy is a construct, and it's a false one at that. And it's an enslavement construct. It enslaves people to it, which is there again part of our own self-denial. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us, so we deny. All are related as fairy gnome, though all are as fairy and dolphin. Interesting. Thank you. All are elemental mastery. I understand. Oh. I know, you feel me. But then I'm like, I recognize the gnome energy as an alliance energy, right? Tree? Or Dave? I feel obviously more in alignment and resonance with, say, elf, um but etc. all are elemental. Yes, I feel you. And so I suppose just like in Lord of the Rings, these are alliances, right? Does it? And this is all very new to me. I don't never really talked about the stuff that openly necessarily. It started to come online, I think maybe in 2014. It certainly wouldn't have been something I would have spoken on the YouTube channel because I wasn't kind of a nymph. Isn't that water maidenish? Uh-oh. Yeah, nice one, Andy. Nymph energy. I'm curious about that. I will look into that because there's stuff that comes out. And then what was there? Love that deck. Um, hey Chance, how are you, my friend? Okay. And then the dolphins and sea turtles are strong in my awareness right now. One of you sent me a special, like, card, and it had the picture of the sea turtle island from the place in Portugal where I stay, and there's the island just off the coast where it looks like a sea turtle. One of you guys just sent me photo of the sea turtle, and same, the dolphin energy. But the dolphin energy to me is so much about the playfulness and how we're committing to, it's like, you know, myself and divine sight, or you know, some people here in my physical reality, where I talk a lot about gatherings, I talk a lot about retreats, I talk a lot about hosting festivals, or you know, certainly mini little conscious festivals, but where people can also enjoy plant medicine and things intentionally. This whole powerful intention is ultimately for healing. It's just that at any point of our healing journey, those of us delving in earnest, the healing journey will take us to a point where the next level is more fun, more joy, more abundance, more creativity, more ease, more peace, more walking on the earth, more play, more healing. Just that healing doesn't look like I am sad, or it can actually, in fairness, but healing isn't victimhood. There's a difference. Healing is moving on up the vibrational ladder, right? Oh, beautiful. Oh, mega heart love for Christian and Christian's mama. Thank you for sharing, Christian. Oh, really? No, NWO, is that like a national, I'm gonna say like health organization of sorts? The C is vibrationally the collective comprehending the Save the Soul and Children timelines. Many empaths are picking up on that frequency as we heal as one humanity. Right, right. Yeah, Chewbacca, and that's, but, so here's my expectation as well, is that this is all part of that collective boom for money. Here's the thing, lovers, like, in fairness, what we can, this is part of why in different capacities we, as the self, are being guided to share. Guided to share the journey, guided to tell the story, guided to hold space. It's that whatever our personal story is connected to the broader story. Ah, thank you, Chewbacca. New World Order. Yes. And that's how part of the layered, what do I want to say? This is part of the layers of how we all get, you know, at any point in our journey, when we do things against our divine will, or when we do something for the external reality, we're thus denying our truth, we're denying our power, we're making excuses, and then eventually we find our way out. It's a dark web. Right. Most of us in those kinds of environments, either it's temporary to get to the next point, or we leave because vibrationally, i.e. physically, emotionally, whatever, we can't sustain it. It doesn't feel right. Right? It doesn't feel right to be working in those environments. Something's off. Something's da-da-da. And then we leave and often go through more layers of awakening and start to see and understand and affirm to ourselves why we left and why it wasn't in alignment with the heart of humanity. Yeah, I would agree on with that. The collective comprehending the Save the Soul and Children timelines. I mean, thank you, Dave. That this is something else I do want to, and I, you know, so much of the stuff I say, if not everything, I say for myself as well, is that part of the this too shall pass energy, as in like the standing down, your worst fears, the shittiest feelings, the lifelong challenges resurfacing just to remind you that you're never going to be free, like that kind of energy is also connected to the collective cosmic boom. It's connected to the fact that many pockets of humanity are having awakenings going, oh my shit, like I've just there, whatever, right, whatever we went through, there's now possibly hundreds of thousands or millions of people going through a similar process of awakening. So our ability to hold space, be present, and tune into earth energy, as in go play outside, or whatever makes you feel timeless. Ultimately, I'm not really into like do exactly the process in my book and then you will be free. Nah. I'm not really interested in controlling people's minds. I would like to emancipate myself from mental slavery. None but myself can free my mind. So I practice this. I practice this all the time. Like and that's part of it. Like these last 10 years or so, it's been, and since I learned about mind over matter and Louise Hay, I was 16, 15 years old. So I'll chat with that. Becoming more conscious of our thought and our heart and our feelings. That's this whole process, and not denying it, because part of the piece of patterns for me is realizing that a pattern is usually a low level wound. It's toxicity manifest. So if we're looping something around, it's something that we're not quite able to see. Otherwise, our life should be expansive flow. We should transform into new aspects of self, not stay stuck in a pattern over and over again. It's not that we don't feel fear, we acknowledge the fear, Huxley. You know? And then, well, that's a nice piece you say, is that if I acknowledge I'm feeling fear within me, I can either go, oh yeah, it's real, and all those things are super scary and they're gonna come and get me, or, wait a minute, I'm feeling fear right now. That means that it's not in my truth, it's not in divinity, it's a trigger point. So I'm gonna do what I can, i.e. shut off the news, stop engaging in this conversation, blah, 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 and breathe and own my fear and see it as my own. And then as soon as there's enough clarity, choose to love myself, or choose to love something, or choose to see the beauty in the world rather than focusing on the stuff that makes us feel the fear. But if we're attracting that into our lives, it's likely there's fear or there's woundedness that we need to work through. We need to address. We need to feel it to heal it, right? Chewbacca, I feel like a fucking dumbass. I mean, I think this is there again. This is all part of our collective awakening. This is that sensitivity around people's awakening as well. Is like, and I mean, I have to say, for someone like me, it was so long ago that I had those, and we're all at different stages, right? But I think of the confusion, the anger, the denial, the absolute mindfuckery. Think of cognitive dissonance en masse. What? Like, and yet we wouldn't be here if we hadn't chosen this. You know, we wouldn't feel it to heal it. Feel it to heal it, brother. Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't have chosen it if it weren't surmountable. Like, we wouldn't be here expressing ourselves if the truth of our knowing wasn't real. Right? Like, it's not like we're here going, that's not real. That destruction's not real. That chaos ain't real. That sickness isn't real. It's as real as those that are invested in it. Oh, well, here, Chewbacca, here's the thing. This is where we bridge our consciousness beyond money. It's not money that they're after. It's energy, and it's the energy of innocence, hence awakening. So so the darkest stories that we're telling is a spiritual warfare. The way it manifests in our physical world, sure, is money, and it would appear that these people have a tyrannical rule over the federal banking reserve and how much money gets made and how it gets distributed. But that is part of the illusion of the construct, is that there's an economy at all. The point of the enslavement economy is to keep us under the veil so that we keep doing what's going on. Oh, okay, I'll just give you here, I'll take my birth certificate, I'll take my passport, and then they'll just get a fucking invisible hose And whenever we go and off pray in our churches, and whenever we go to our temples and meditate, and whenever we go to our shopping mall and buy more clothes, and whenever we're watching the news and getting triggered by the fucking fear, there, those apparent control forces, dark forces, are feeding off of our unconscious fear. Not until we own it and integrate it as our own and say, I see you, baby. Sucking that fucking innocence. I see the distortion. And so all I know I can do is keep healing my fear with love. Only with love. In any given moment. Oh, and it's just hitting me hard. I'm like, see, MJ, you see that? You see how distorted that pattern is? Oh, I do. Holla at y'all. You feel me? Oh, thanks, Axley. Energy suckers. Exactly, and that's why we call it vampires. Once we vibrate more love, the reality will manifest as it's meant to. And I really don't know exactly what's going on in the economy at the minute, other than in my intuitive awareness for many, 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 many years. And this is how we resonate as well. It's like it will collapse. Just like my personal reality. Your inner creates the outer. My personal reality, all of my old constructs collapsed. I don't have anything to go. I don't have another job to go back to. I don't have savings to go back to. I don't have, it's like when you truly take the leap into your freedom, everything that is not freedom will fall away, which includes a lot of egoic entanglement into like, this is how much money I'm gonna, and it's like, oh, you think so, do you? Well, your soul might think otherwise. Hablam. And you're like, fucking doodles, I need to have more faith. Yeah, you do. Because the forces that are ones that are in alignment with harnessing energy of innocence, there's compassion for those creative beings. I just don't vibrate there. I mean, a lot of us on a multidimensional soul level, we feel that energy. We have created timeline after timeline on various different dimensional levels of fighting the darkness because it's fucking adventurous and fun. It's just that as a soul, one has to evolve oneself into the Jedi Force. Stop, people! So that we anchor in and understand divine law, which is cosmic creation, which is how we continue to exist. You feel me? But just so you guys know, I mean, I just flow here. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't consider anything that I say to be more or less important than anything else anyone else ever says. I just am intuitively guided, and so I've been guided. Jessica T! Girl, I was thinking about you before going live today, and I was like, because anyway, I visioned that moment of me being like, Jessica! Okay, now that made me think of like, just do something, MJ. Hey, Diliana, I feel like you're new to me. You're new to me here. Yeah. You're an active, soulful member here. Let's pull some cards for the Soul Familia. I got some new mom jeans from the eBay and some new little sneakers. I'm getting all like juiced up and ready for the festivals, even though simultaneity from the share the other day, even though there's a part of me that we're moving through daily activities that there's some seriously like obsessive controlled energy coming through, which isn't love. I know that, but I'm doing my best to not be sucked into the fear of my lifelong self-hatred. But you guys feel me. You guys help. Just the fact that you be here making love to yourself. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. These cards. Is it 420 yet? Oh, it's way past 420. Holla. Okay, what is the message? What is the message for the Ultra Love TV community? What messages want to come through these cards today? only since I've been here as well, I am more present to like those energies and holla. Like yesterday I felt the light forces literally like in drones coming from energy of the sea, coming up from the hollow earth energy. I'm like it's like it's like in the final battle of Lord of the Rings when like the trees show up and the ghosts show up and like every grouping of soul tribe familia is like coming online. This is part of, to me anyway, the awareness of the gnomes, the hollow earth, the sea energy, the earth energy. There's all these like, and these are this is sentience, right? Like I know our three-dimensional programming mind is always like, that's not real. That's just the fucking ocean. It doesn't talk and look like us, and therefore it's less valuable. And it's like all of that is metamorphing. All of that is changing. We're becoming the fantasy of this fucking infinite creative field and like our potential. It's becoming the reality. And so more and more of us, like we are embodying more mermaid energy, more metaphysical, more mythical, more superhero type energy because we're believing it to be true. And we've been practicing it for long enough, and we've been finding soul tribe, which then amplifies our kind of magic, if that, if you want to use that word. And then one of you just said I grow my own, and I'm like, yeah, I'm intending to grow my own too. Ugh. Okay, I am not happy about these cards. But I'm gonna just read them the way Intuition wants me to, because whoever this is relevant for, it's relevant for, right? Ugh. Okay, so the feeling is the fact that there's this tower moment here, and the tower moment feels like it's coming because of this situation, which is Emperor. So this is one of those things going back, and I actually pretty much feel we're a tribe of tribeless people. Hi, Scream Engine, maybe holla holla. Yeah. So this is, I would say, specific, maybe just to even like one person that might be going through this. Indeedly doodly. So one of you is dealing with Emperor Reverse, somebody abusing their power. And I feel that you or them got caught in a lie. But if there is an abuser in your life, it's you that caught them in a lie, and you've been. This situation has really taken its toll on you. Okay? The situation has taken an extreme toll on you, and I think that's why the tower is coming down. Let's get some divine guidance for that. So that's the energy. What we're talking about is like process your emotions, feel the pain of what's gone on here, the loss. You've maybe walked away from a job, walked away from a situation. There would have been at one point. Okay, so this is not just, it's powerful. But whenever these shitty situations are occurring in our lives, from my perspective as a conscious creator, it's because we're coming into our creatorship. And we have choices every single day, every single moment. Am I going to own this as my own creation, or am I going to blame and attack external circumstances, people, places, and things for what's gone on in my life? Am I going to stay in victimhood, pretending like I'm a victim to all these nasty, fucking corrupted, manipulative abusers of power? I.e., am I going to stay? There's that song. Fuck. That there are no victims. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. These two go together. This is why we own it. Whether we're the abuser or the abused, recognize our choosing. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used. The only way we break free from these patterns is by owning it. I've been choosing my victimhood. I've been choosing my poverty. I've been choosing my tower moments. Okay? And we can either own it and transform it and become a regenerative being or not. Or we can go, I am a victim and this person is such a dickhead. How dare he? He's a fucking narcissist. Or, I know. I get it. Okay, and that's why this tower came down. So I'm going to do my utmost to just empower my dream, empower my belief in myself, empower my luck, empower my blah blah. How are we going to get there? We'll play. You're going to play yourself into a better feeling place after this tower moment comes down. Transformation. Quickly explain tower moment. I feel that tower moment is the finality end of a situation connected to deception. So it's not, in actual fact, it's a positive tower, but it feels to me connected to this emperor. This could actually be a boss or somebody in your reality who is losing everything. This person could own a business that you worked for and then they've been lying and cheating or stealing the system and they fucking lose their business, but you maybe were already anticipating that, so you saw it coming, as in whoever this reading is resonating with, and this is your out. I know it might seem paradoxical, but honestly, your best protocol at this point is just fucking laugh and play and be like, you know what? I wasn't digging on the job anyway. I'm out. Just play, have fun. I don't feel like this is your tower to have to deal with, but this is a tower moment coming down in your reality, right? And then I'm gonna get another. Pardon me, you guys. Oh, look, that's not. Hello. I got totally sidetracked. Boomasoof. Bob 911 for the ego. Hello. We are the boss. We are the boss. Some people still might be leaving those situations, right, Chewbacca? Like, as in, again, regardless of timelines, if we've worked in shitty corporate jobs or done that, you can imagine other people doing that too. And then because we recognize the self as one, the whole groupings of humans have the opportunity to become their own boss, right? To become their own creator. What is this card? Up. There's a twofold here. One is that you're moving on up. It's almost like the Wheel of Fortune energy. Things are going to start to shift. Another piece about this card is like look up. And I'm talking about connecting to the earth or connecting to the sea. This is making me think, let us not forget to connect to the sky and the earth and the ether. Dude, Chewbacca, I burp. I just started watching a show on Netflix called Rick and Morty. I'm pretty sure Rick is the granddad and Morty's the kid, but this old man scientist, he burps like a lot. And I suddenly was like, oh my god. That's what I do. I just burp. I swear to God as well. Thank you, because Divine Sight recommends my musical choices in my entertainment. I just can't. I just don't have the patience to try to watch something to get into it. I just need somebody to tell me, is it good or not? If you think it's good, I'll probably stick it out. Oh my god. No. Love you, actually. Thank you for that piece. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm basically like that character, Rick, right? Where I can so this comes back way back. One, I grew up in a family where burping. So my mom would often be like, "Girls, excuse yourself," but me and my sister would fart and burp and just be like, like we'd laugh about it all the time, and that never stopped. And then I became an adult, trying to, excuse me, I still laugh a lot. And then I went to India. I spent 3 months in India doing all the yoga vibrashe, and Indian people like burp and fart and make really loud, obnoxious noises with their noses and like, and yet I learned that the whole burping in different cultures is actually a sign of respect, especially if you've just eaten a meal and then you like have a big belch. People are like, holla. And you'd be like, holla. It's not like, oh, excuse me for being a human and having air, you know, like shit. Um, so yeah, that's something I sometimes don't notice because now, what, 10 years ago, I was in India. So, like, straight up legit, it's been literally exactly 10 years since that journey. And basically I got to that point of like, oh, so in other cultures it's like classy and respectful to burp. Holla. And so that's what I've done. And I always have this funny joke of like a dude I dated not long after. Um, I was free falling in essence and just left a long term relationship. But like, we went on a date. He took me for curry and drinking beer and stuff. So it was like, come on, air. But I burped because I was like owning my power, being like, yeah, humans burp, but burp and fart. If you've got a problem with it, what? Do something. Except that's not exactly what it was. It was like being politically correct and like trying to be like a, you know, a lovely lady or whatever. But we ate the curry and I burped. And then I started laughing because that's what I do. And this guy was like, that's disgusting. Like, are you gonna excuse yourself? And right away, my mind just defaulted into like, I don't think this is gonna work. Like, if my burping and farting is gonna offend your person, we're probably not cut out for each other. And we weren't. We did not. So yeah, burping and farting is normal, and I have no problem with it, except like not in someone's face. Like, I have a childhood trauma of my sister when all of my sister was older than me, and we were little girls. This is when we still lived in our big house when our parents were still together and life was perfect. But not the fucking trauma was beginning. My sister invited all her friends, and again, when she's the older one, I don't know if you guys have this. I'm like 3 and a bit years younger than my sister. Where I think all younger siblings perhaps go through a phase of like idolizing the older sibling and all of their friends, and so I did. And my sister, bless her, like kidnapped me in front of all of her friends, pinned me down on the floor, and farted in my face. I, like, can you feel it? I still have fucking trauma from that. I'm like, that was one, so embarrassing, scary because she was like holding me down and trying to get me, and then the actual farting of the face was just disgusting. It's like, oh. And I'm like, and then that was like the beginning of that was like, yeah, just being a little pawn and getting teased and abused and a lot. Like, you cry, baby, because I cried a lot. It's like right here, right? But anywho, funny thing is, you leaned in the side. You guys do that too. What is that about? Also, FYI, like, why can't I just fart? Like, pff. Except no, you have to lift up your bum. Like, to make space between the seat and your ass. And make, like, let it out. Make a little tunnel. Oh my god. Welcome to All to Love TV, where we take spirituality and love very fucking seriously. This laughter, my lovers, is a fucking fantastic medicine. Oh, let's be honest here. It facilitates. Oh my god, Bob, I love you. Bob is in the house, you guys, and he's letting us know why. Why do we naturally, as a human, go like this when we need to fart? Or this? Or this? Thing is, you guys, if we don't laugh at those parts of our humanity that's just picking our nose and eating the burgers, squeezing spots. Have you guys ever watched the like spot doctors? It is like addictive and also disgusting. But I'm like, if you don't laugh at that, the more you know. Then what is life? It's like, wow, it's the evolution of our mind, isn't it, to have higher frequency thought, basically, so that we can not live in shame. And once we don't live in shame, those things are fucking funny. I dated somebody who, you know, you can imagine the only people I ended up actually dating were people who also laughed at farts and burps, and this person would make like a real thing and do like jump kicks when they farted, and we were like, ha 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 ha, hilarious. And one time we were woken. We were both woken in the middle of the night by his farting. Because, and I'll never forget it, and we're still friends to this day, and this is like 10 years on from our relation. But we had a pet, aka fart, that sounded like, oh. It's like, I'll never forget it. And it just reminded the other day as well, because he messaged me about something, and I was like, dude, do you remember that fucking fart that you let out? And he was like, oh my god, yes, it was hilarious. And then I reminded him that we had a forever song called Jazz Arse. And it just went, Jazz Arse, Jazz Arse. It's actually like a little chunk from The Simpsons, where I'm pretty sure Lisa sang something, not Jazz Ass, but but if you angle it right, my lovers, if you angle your ass in just the right way, you can make some tunes. This is my life. This is my life. I talk live on YouTube every morning before the world around me wakes up, just to talk about farts, snake farts specifically, dragon tails, and the star people. Like, I'm normal in my world, FYI. You feel me? The more you know. Oh, you guys, how glorious a life. My word. Thank God for you guys accepting me and my farts and my airways. It is lovely. Hey, Eric, that's my dad's name. Holla. Should I say that? Is that? Yeah, I think that's right. Life is what you make it, truly. It so effing is, you guys. And just so you know, like, I'm really glad you guys are here, because life has become exceedingly more fun, even though I'm still processing those density. Probably for the collective as well. But when we know we are not the body, we feel the natural body process of reflection who we are. Exactly. Exactly. It's not like the ebbs and flows or the farts and the clearings make us disgusting. Like, you understand how the body works, and so you allow it to flow. It's like I learned at Vipassana that fear is air. So like farting and burping is actually releasing fear. Who are people? The body is quite gross. It needs constant cleaning and trimming. True, Bob. And like the plasma wave. And something I've noticed, and there again, I kind of default into just having a jest and being like, I'm vain, or it's something to do with vanity. But if I'm honest, I think it's also a next level aspect of our ability to self-care. And there again, there's my empathic wounding being like, it's selfish. Like, I spend a lot of time in self-care. You guys know, I have light shining on my face, so I look a certain way on the screen. Holla. I spend a lot of time like moisturizing my skin with love, because of, you know, body transformation requires like a lot of love, a lot of mirror work, my yoga practice, obviously. Like, there's a lot, to the point that 10 years ago or the person I am today, I never would have thought I would be spending so much of my time loving myself. And like, as I speak that out loud, I'm like, how dare you? That's my ego, right? That's a part of my ego, of the collective program. How dare you love yourself that much? You're selfish, you know? And it's like, and I, in that moment, can be like, because everyone do this and everyone deserves to do it. And so I'm not going to stop, because I know it's better than the other. I know it's better than going back into control. I know it's better than going back into self-hatred. It feels bad enough, you know, it feels enough like hatred to just hold space for it and dig in deep and say, I'm still going to love you. Hey, Deliana, thank you. Thanks for being here, you guys. I feel like I'll be exiting soon. Jessica, mega hot love, and fire. Chewbacca, nice to have you drop in from time to time. You've been around for a bit. It's really great to have you guys live. I obviously went live a little earlier this morning, which is maybe why I caught some of you that I don't always catch. Chic Equilibre. No, you guys can head over. Chic. Did you ever study fundamental rights? No, I'm not sure. Either what you mean by that necessarily, as far as like human rights. Is that what you're talking about? Like as in constitutional human rights on a global level? No, in fact, maybe one module in school that I didn't take seriously. I studied law, but I never resonated, if that makes sense. So like yes, Andrew, Hala, thank you so much for the timestamps, my friend. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it just means a lot, and it makes me feel like, it's really real, all this stuff. Okay, Earth rights. Thank you, Chic. So that's just triggering the fact that, just remember, familia, there are many people working on many different levels as well. When it comes to a lot of the fear program, when it comes to a lot of those like layers of rabbit hole energy, there are people working on things that are for our benefit. Trust that too. Earth rights is connecting me into my awareness of Sasha's work, my another good friend of mine as well, who's doing work on the level of law and language ultimately, and how the law is corrupted in the way it uses its language. Thus, it's connected to the biofeedback of the spiritual warfare, which is based on our energetic enslavement with our basically our life force being bought and sold on the stock market. So our birth certificates and our documentation is we don't own that. So our reclamation, our owning our power is our coming back to our sovereignty as autonomous, not a state, not me with a bunch of all y'all. Autonomous means self-generated creator, self-sustainable, self-created conscious creators, right? So the autonomy piece for all of us as individuals is this precipice that we're on to step into that autonomy, to become the self-created self, to show, to lead by example, to be the change for others to see. But that's, we can't do it by playing in the old realms, if that makes sense. So earth rights is to me divine law, which is our beingness in alignment. KDJ, I'm sure I saw your name on one of Adrian's, so I watch most mornings Adrian share from the night before, and if I don't catch it live, I'll get to see the live and see the community basically, and I saw you there, and I, in my heart space, I was like, Katie, hello, but I wasn't live, so I couldn't comment, if that makes sense, on the live. So earth principle is divine law. Divine law is something we feel in our soul, and that's part of our rising up and moving through these veils ultimately, for Chic. So earth, thank you, eternal aware, thank you, Chic. So just keep sharing info as and when, peeps, and stay in your heartfelt integrity. Share what you're guided to share on your own channels, or to me here, or amongst yourselves. Just keep laughing, keep farting out of your asshole and out of your mouth hole. Keep making love to yourself so you can tap that. And mostly just keep loving, no matter what. Just keep loving your fine self. That's what I'm gonna do. I deserve it. I deserve to love myself. I don't fart a lot, but I do burp. I mean, you guys have noticed I do burp a lot. Thank you, Christian. Virtual hugs. Virtual hugs. Virtual hugs for all my lovers. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for choosing love. I'm taking my day off tomorrow, but I'll be back on Sunday with the weekly readings and then back on Tuesday for the live shares. You guys are my favorites. I love you so, so much. I realize. Well, I also drink a lot of sparkling water, so that's also a testify. I have clear answers. Guys, I love you. I love you. Have a wonderful day. I've been so busy with self-love, but I am definitely, the May monthly readings are up. Sunday I published the weekly readings, and I've been doing our timestamp, but of course I would never want any of you to feel any pressure whatsoever to, you know, to do anything that's not on flow for you, right? So always your alignment trumps all. Hey, Dilianas, thank you so much. Ugoris, lovely name. Yeah, thanks. Oh, big love, big love. You guys have a wonderful day, okay? And I will speak to you very, very soon. Okay? Yes, Andy P. Holla, holla, holla. I'll see you guys.